Hey there everyone, it is I, Monster Maze. Normally I'm not the one to do topical videos, but hey, it's Breath of the Wild 2, we gotta talk about this. News about this game is few and far between, so I might as well give my 2 cents on the matter. This will be one of those rare times where I'm completely off script. I haven't written anything down, so please bear with me and forgive me for all the stumbling. So Nintendo put up a new video about the development stage of Breath of the Wild 2, and first of all, Eiji Aonuma, my man, looking good with his new hairdo. I guess quarantine is officially over in Japan. So yeah, the game has officially been delayed to 2023. Now, to be honest, as the optimist that I am, this was not in my line of expectations. I mean, I didn't rule out the possibility, but since they announced the release year only about 9 months ago, I thought they were pretty confident that they were gonna make it, but well, apparently not. On the one hand, this is kinda disappointing, obviously. Having to wait longer is never fun, but at the same time, I think it would benefit the game, to be honest. 2022 is so incredibly packed. We got Horizon Forbidden West, Elden Ring, Kirby, God of War is on the way, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Starfield, Hogwarts Legacy, which by the way looks amazing, has been announced for December, and I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting even more. Especially with a game like Elden Ring, which took the world by storm and is already being compared to Breath of the Wild in many ways. I think this is a good opportunity to give Breath of the Wild 2 some room to breathe. Now, I'm not gonna speculate whether or not this means the game will be released with new hardware. I mean, I hate talking about Switch Pro and rumors like that. I mean, who the heck knows at this point, you know? So instead, let's focus on what we do know from the announcement itself. First of all, notice how Aonuma says that the game will not just take place on the surface, but also in the skies above, which we already knew from the second teaser. However, that the expanded world goes beyond that, which is great news. A lot of people were kind of worried about the surface of Hyrule being revisited, including me, because, well, we already explored this world extensively, and justifyingly so. There were doubts if the sky was going to be enough to make the game feel fresh and new, and not just a glorified DLC, so to speak. And well, the man himself, Eiji Aonuma, seems to put our hearts at ease, and there will be more than just the familiar surface and the sky. What exactly this expanded world entails, of course, we don't know right now. The usual stuff comes to mind, like a new province, new islands, underground, underwater, things which have been theorized before, but to get actual confirmation that there will be more is, again, absolutely great news. And to top it off, Aonuma states that there will be even more gameplay elements, more encounters, and an even wider variety of features. He really seems to hammer home the fact that this will be a very different experience. And finally, let's go over the new footage, because despite the disappointing announcement, they actually did show some new stuff. Not a whole lot, but hey, it's something. This entire sequence, although brief, only lasting a few seconds, does at least confirm 2 things. Number 1, Link's face is just fine. No scars or deformities, no malice eyes, big hand everybody, he's okay. I guess that theory goes out the window. And 2, he still has the Master Sword. It's just that, well, it's not exactly in great shape. So the whole idea that the sword fell into the chasm and maybe Zelda has it, that goes out the window too. This basically confirms that the attack on Link's arm by Malice was indeed Ganondorf going after the Master Sword. And for good reason. It's like the one thing capable of inflicting mortal damage to him. So that is a sweet power move by G-Man over here. It also suggests that the game will likely revolve around restoring the Master Sword, as without it Link won't even be able to hurt Ganondorf, or at least not kill him. Of course, this would also mean that the game cannot be beaten like Breath of the Wild, where you could just go straight to Calamity Ganon and kick his ass. That's not gonna work if you don't have the tools to do it. This could suggest that the game will have a more linear approach. Of course, the restoration of the Master Sword could still be done out of order. In fact, I'm expecting that you probably can, but it won't be as easy as just walking up to the castle. I'm definitely considering making a more comprehensive theory about this because I have a lot of ideas, but for now I'll just say that it's becoming more and more likely that the Sky Islands are indeed tied to the Triforce or the Sacred Realm in some way. We know from previous games that the Master Sword's power to repel evil is something sacred, something tied to sages and the gods and so on. In Breath of the Wild, however, there were no sages, at least not in the traditional sense. We only had the 4 champions, but that's not really the same thing. Sages have some sort of special connection to the gods, and as we saw in the Wind Waker, they can pray to the gods to restore the Master Sword's power. The closest thing we saw in Breath of the Wild were the Sheikah monks at the end of the Trial of the Sword, which did indeed restore the sacred glow to the blade. But after they did, their bodies disappeared and their spirits seemed to have moved on to the afterlife. So that doesn't seem to be an option anymore. The only other entity we saw capable of restoring the Master Sword was the Deku Tree, who is said to tap into some sort of sacred energy to fix the blade. And lo and behold, as many have pointed out, the Deku Tree seems to be gone in Breath of the Wild 2. He's no longer where he should be. So it really seems like Ganondorf tried to eliminate every option to fix the sword. Again, for good reason. Lastly, I will quickly touch upon two more things. First is this yellow flame hovering in front of Link. I'm not entirely sure, but I get the impression that it's talking to him. The way Link has his arm out and staring right at it and then turning around to grab the Master Sword definitely suggests as much. And if it is indeed sentient, the most logical conclusion is that it's probably the spirit of whoever this hand belonged to. You know, the one that was clutching onto Ganondorf's body. Which could mean that we're looking at a new companion character. Someone who knows how to restore the Master Sword and guides Link on his way. Who this character is, we don't know, of course. Maybe it's a past hero or an ancient sage of some kind. We'll just have to wait and see. You are more than welcome to share your suggestions. Lastly, we do see that Link has some sort of symbol on his hand, and this is definitely not the Triforce. Instead, it's probably tied to the race or tribe this being belongs to. My current take is that after the attack on the Master Sword and Link's arm, Link will go unconscious, which will no doubt also serve as the excuse to start with 3 hearts again. And the new footage likely takes place close to just after he wakes up, when he first realizes what happened and the spirit inside his arm will explain how to fix it. In fact, on the floor we can see a circular design with symbols on it, very similar to this shot, where Link is seemingly half naked and unconscious and the spirit possesses his arm. And here too we see the same type of symbols on the floor. Obviously in this shot it's almost completely dark, so probably underground, so my best guess at this point is that maybe this entire platform he's laying on will rise into the sky, which would explain how he gets to the sky for the first time. And that is all I have to say about it, at least for now. Again, don't hesitate to share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. This is Dawn signing off, and have a good one.